Hello, everybody. This is Howard the Teaserking coming to you with week 5 of the NFL already. It just started and now it's week 5. How time flies when you're having fun. Huge week last week. 14-3 overall. 8-1 in college. Hit my locks. I think it was 5-2 or 6-2 in the pros. Hit one of my locks. Hit the video. Cincy and Detroit. I had the lock. I had Cincinnati, and my loser was Atlanta against Buffalo, which was very surprising. I think that fumble call was weak, and Atlanta just had a lot of turnovers. Hard to say, but maybe Buffalo's pretty good now. They beat Atlanta, and they beat Denver back to back. So maybe Buffalo's this very good team, undervalued, even though Tyrod Taylor, but they're playing good defense and running the ball. So give the credit to Buffalo. Got about 10 games this week that I absolutely love. Sometimes it's an over-under, sometimes it's a game. I just try to look for the best matchup for our buck. That's what we're betting on. So let's get to it. One thing I wanted to mention is part of the reason they play these Thursday night games and then Sunday and Sunday night and Monday night and this London game, which makes no sense. The only people that profit from this are the bookmakers in Las Vegas, because every time there's one, if all the games were Sunday afternoon, you'd pick your top, like here, I'm picking my top 6 or 8 games, and I'm going to bet them, and I'm going to tease them, and play a 6-team teaser, and play my lock teaser, and all that. But now there's the Thursday game, so people want to bet it because it's Thursday. So you break it out from Sunday. You got your Sunday night game, which is individual. So if it was lumped in with the Sunday, you might not bet it, but now it's pulled out. And the Monday night game, which has always been there. So that's an extra 3 games you're going to bet, besides the Saturday 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock East Coast time games. And I've been thinking a lot about that. So it just goes to show you it's really who's controlling football, because it's really not the owners as much as they make you want to believe that. And we're playing the game in London for money. I mean, come on. It's like you make $1 million a year. Here's an extra 20. Like, oh, great, I'll make an extra 20. Let me go play in London. It's all about the betting. It's another game to bet Sunday morning. So I'm going to bet Thursday. I'm going to bet the Sunday morning London game. The 1 o'clocks, the 4 o'clocks, the Sunday night game, the Monday. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 5 individual games. Thursday, London, Sunday night, Monday night. That's 4, and then your 1 o'clocks and 4 o'clock. So there's 6 different times you're betting, and that's really what it's all about. And that's really what football is all about, and that's why they make the money. Anyway, I just wanted to make that comment. I brought it up. I just kind of thought about that, because it's really, I'm not even watching half of those games because it ruins my concentration on picking. I get so tired after watching a Thursday game, and then a Sunday morning, I'm still exhausted from all the Saturday college football. I don't really want to get up early to watch a London game, and then the 1 o'clock game. And then where's my lock? 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and then Sunday night. I mean, it's like I don't even know when to go eat and go work out on Sunday, or go out and enjoy the sun. And then Monday night. So I don't even, it's like I very rarely bother with the Monday night game. I'll just turn it on for the score a little bit. And the same thing Thursday. I don't really care if I see it unless it's just an outstanding game. And really I'm focusing on the Sunday, because that's how I grew up. It was Sunday with Monday night. But too many individual, and you got to be careful with that. When you're betting to make money to win, you got to be patient. As I said, it's a lot like poker. You get your pocket pairs and you get your low pairs. And the thing is, they're making you play more hands. Maybe to put it in my poker comparison, because I love to compare the two because they're very, very similar. The Thursday night game might be, Queen 4 offsuit, and you probably don't want to play it. You wouldn't play it if it was with the Sunday bunch, but you're playing it because it's Thursday night. And then the London game is like 10-4, maybe it's suited, and you really don't want to play it, but you're playing it because it's alone. And then you get your Sunday games, you find your pocket pairs, you find your ace king or ace queen during that Sunday group when most of the games are. Here comes Sunday night, it's 10-7 of clubs, you really don't want to play it. And then here's Monday night, king deuce. Maybe once in a while you get pocket tens or jacks on Monday night, but generally it's king deuce. Again, you're playing hands that you don't want to play, that you normally wouldn't play if it was part of the whole scheme. And that's really how you have to look at it, and that's how I look at it. I look at this sheet. This is the week. I'm looking at the week, not each individual, I don't care if it's Sunday morning in London or Thursday night. Is it a good game? I kind of blindly look at not blindly, but I'm looking at it without knowing what time any of the games are, except for the Sunday morning, or Sundays at 1, Sundays at 4. And then my goal is to maybe match some Sunday at 1s together, and then knowing, okay, the Sunday at 4 games are together, so if I need a game at 4 o'clock, let's say I got a 1 o'clock with the 4 o'clock, then 1 o'clock's losing, then I'll come back with the 4 o'clock with Sunday night or Monday if it's a reasonable bet, or I'll find 2 games Sunday at 4 to play, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. So that's the big trap. You got to look at the best games on the schedule that you're going to make money at. If you're playing for the action, then you're probably not going to win, because you're playing hands that, if you're at a poker table and you're playing every hand, you're playing 10-6 offsuit just to see the flop, you're probably going to lose a lot. I mean, you'll have that once in a while, you get lucky and you play 10-6 and it comes 7-8-9 and you win, but generally you shouldn't be playing those. And it's the same thing with football. You want to avoid the 10-6 and games like that. So really, that's what I'm looking for. And me, I look for pocket pairs to bet, ace king, ace queen, and I try to stay away from the 10-4 offsuits. It's just not, you have really no idea. Unless you get a lucky flop, you're probably going to lose. Why do we want to talk about losers and invest in losers? We want to be with the winning. And that's why I like to bet against the bad teams, and with the strong teams, I want to bet the winners and bet against the losers. That's the key to gambling. It's the key to poker. It's the key to life. You want to be a winner, not the loser. And don't be afraid to win. A lot of people fear winning. You shouldn't. You should accept it and be happy you won. All right, speech done. Let's go on. My first game, the Giants at San Diego. They're not head-to-head, so you can't really look at team versus team. But what we can look at is the teams and their roles, their personalities. The New York Giants, 16-5 overall, 6-1 as a home favorite if you bet them. However, 6-1 if you bet against them. 17-4 overall bet against. The Giants are better to bet against than they are to bet. Even at home, they're 6-1, 6-1. What does that tell you? They play a lot of close games that they cover. And probably in most of the Giant home games, just play a teaser and you win. At least the last 7, every time they're home, if you played a teaser, you're 6-1 either way. But overall, you're 17-4 if you play against the Giants. Here comes San Diego. 6-1 is a road dog, 15-5 overall. 6-1 bet against road dogs, 17-3 bet against. So San Diego, if you just keep betting against them, you're 17-3. Well, that's 16. Let's go back to 15. The Giants are now 9-3 as a home favorite. Now they're 10-2 as a bet against home favorite. So again, they're close games, but now if you go against them as a home favorite, 10-2. And now they're 30-7 if you bet against them, 81% in a teaser. So now the Giants at home, if you bet against them anytime, they're 14-3. But if you bet against them anytime, any place since 2015, you're 30-7. San Diego is a raw dog, 13-2, 87% since 2015. Bet against them, 13-2, 87%. And if you bet against San Diego, you're 31-5. So you have two teams you can bet against. One's 86% and the other is 81%. You bet against them. Let's go back to 2014. The Giants, 12-5 as a home favorite, 14-3 bet against. 7-1 bet against as a home dog. Now they're 21-4 bet against since 2014, and 42-11, 79% if you bet against the Giants at any personality. San Diego, 18-4 as a road dog, 18-4 bet against as a road dog, and San Diego is 42-10 bet against. So what you have here is a slight trend of betting against the Giants. San Diego loves being a road dog, and don't keep in mind they go to Denver, they go to Oakland, they go to KC. I think KC's the one that has their number. We locked Kansas City, me, locked Kansas City against them a couple weeks ago. But again, San Diego is a home dog, and they're not a good home dog. And we'll go back one more year because it really gets interesting. Now you got the Giants 17-6 as a home favorite either way. Bet against them overall 53-16, 77%. And if you take them, you're 47-22. You're only 68%. You're 9% better betting against the Giants overall than taking the Giants. And now all the way back to 2013 is when it levels off about them being a home favorite, 17-6 either way. But here's where you got it. San Diego, 26-4 as a road dog, 87% since 2013. And here, they're actually, now they're 53-17, 76% if you bet on them. Now they start sliding. As a road dog, they're 22-8, only 73% if you bet against them. And so now what you see is 26-4 San Diego is the road dog. The Giants 17-6, but they've been consistently bet against since 2013. And San Diego consistently, if you take them as a road dog, has been money, 87%. Even if, so you could bet against them. So maybe when they go to Denver or Kansas City is when you maybe don't play them as the road dog. But they play these teams every year, so going to the Giants is no big deal. They're not better than Denver, or, they don't have a stronger defense than Denver or Kansas City. Add to that, San Diego has Rivers, healthy, Gates, healthy. Their running back with the W, I can't think of it. He's healthy. Keenan Allen's healthy. Their lines, they're pretty healthy. The reason San Diego's fallen off is Rivers has always been healthy. Allen gets hurt. Melvin Gordon gets hurt. Woodhead was there, got hurt, and he's not there anymore, and they replaced him. So what you have now is Melvin Gordon and Gates and Allen are all healthy. And when they're healthy, they're probably a lot stronger as a road dog than when they're hurt. And they're still 27-4 as a road dog, even with the injuries. Woodhead injured. And, all these guys that got injured, Allen, the offensive line, and they still are 27-4 as a road dog. They like going on the road. They like being the underdog. They play to win. Rivers is very good like that. And the Giants basically, I don't know if it's because they're in New York or what, but they're not really good at home. Teams like Cincinnati's like that. Cincinnati I locked last week over Cleveland, and it was exactly what I said it would happen. They blew out Cleveland. They have the better talent. But Cincinnati is a home favorite. It's terrible. But on the road, they're great. So I don't know. How do you explain that? How teams are so much better on the road than at home. Maybe there's just too much nuisance and chaos when they're at home, and they have a hard time focusing on the game. They get tickets for the family and talk shows, and when they go on the road, it's business. I don't know. That's the only way I can explain it. But in this case, San Diego's the play. You get 9.5 or 9. Take San Diego plus the 9 against the Giants absolutely very strong. And you can see all the way back to 2013. Let's see what 2011 says. San Diego 32-8 is a road dog to 2011. Let's go back to 2007. San Diego, it's incredible. 44-9 as a road dog since 2007. 83%. So this is something for 10 years. They're 44-9. The Giants are like now 44-24, 65% as a home favorite. I mean, this is amazing. This is what you look for. I mean, Jesus Christ, 44-9 since 2007. It's just, they're very comfortable on the road as a dog. They play to win, and that's exactly what happens. So there you have it. Take San Diego plus the 9.5. I usually like locking San Diego as a road dog. I'm not doing it now, but they're not. You can't look at their record and go they're 0-4 like they're a terrible 0-4 team like Jacksonville has been. Jacksonville is much better this year, but I mean normally Jacksonville, Cleveland. Now Cleveland's a bad 0-4 team. There's a huge difference between Cleveland 0-4 and San Diego 0-4. And I'll tell you, if this game was in Cleveland and Cleveland was laying 3.5 and we could get San Diego 9.5, I mean I'd mortgage the house and bet everything on San Diego 9.5 because that would be absolutely gold. I mean that to me is exactly what you want. And really the key to that, I would bet that with the Monday night game and I would trap that game. And that's really how you make money in teasers. You find that one game and you pound it, and you put it in 2 or 3 teasers, and then you can start trapping if you don't like the other game, but you did it just so you could trap because you were so sure on the first game. But anyway, we'll get into that later. Let's look at the points. San Diego. Yes, they're called LA now. They score 18 a game. They give up 23 a game. And then keep in mind they played at Denver and against Kansas City. Kansas City held them to 10. Denver they got 21 on, I believe, or 24. So they'll score in the mid-20s. But when you look at the Giants, they only score 15 a game and give up 23. I mean, it's pathetic. So you have a real weak home favorite in the Giants, right? So here you got a team that doesn't score a lot going against a team that puts up 20 at San Diego, and you know San Diego is fully capable of scoring. Put up 24, 26 last week against Philly. Even though they lost, they still score. They got Gates and Rivers and Gordon and Allen. I mean, they're pretty healthy as far as their key players, so they're going to score in the 20s. You got 9 points, so let's say you got San Diego scoring 21, plus the 9.5, you got 30 points. So the Giants going to score 30 points. They average 15. I mean, I don't. They put up 27 on the Eagles, or 24, and lost 27-24. So they'll put up enough to get the game closer, win it, but they're not going to blow out San Diego, and San Diego is just too powerful. And no, I won't call them LA because I think that's all bullshit. That's just the owner being greedy and not giving a shit about his product, which is, they've been there since 1960, and you just get up and leave, go play in a high school stadium, so you can maybe play in this $1 billion stadium that somebody else owns for a few dollars. Oh my God, you're a billionaire, dude. You don't need, it's like, I got $1 billion and this guy's going to give me 100. Does that really impact you? No, I don't think so. These owners are just the most bizarre people I've ever seen. All right, so you have a weak favorite going against a strong dog. Yeah, it's on the East Coast. That bothered them a little, but it's not like going to London. It's a few-hour flight. Hopefully they go tonight and not Saturday, which I think they probably will because of the time change. But it's easier to go west to east. I know it's a little hard. It's 10 in the morning for them versus, 1 o'clock for them. But these are pros. I don't think 10 o'clock's not terrible in college. Like Stanford had to go to like Wake Forest, and it was a noon kickoff. That was 9 in the morning on Saturday morning. That's a little bit tricky. But on Sunday, so you've had Saturday to kind of get refreshed and everything else. Game 2. Who do I want to play? There's so many I can play. I'm going to go to Kansas City, Houston. Kansas City's laying 1. The spread might go to even or -1. Houston might be favorite. I don't care. I want Kansas City, period. Kansas City's the better team here. Deshaun Watson's playing some Clemson. He's running a little read option that Russell Wilson runs a little bit at Seattle. They'll be all, they're going to see the film on Watson. See, in the beginning it works, right? He dances around, he scores, and that's fine. But then what happens is teams get tape on him and go, this is what he does. Kansas City is a very fast defense. Again, they shut down San Diego, and Rivers is 100 times better than Deshaun Watson. Watson might be good. He beat Alabama twice, but now we're playing in the pros. So, yeah, he's a winner. But Kansas City right now is the cream of football. They pounded at New England. And on Monday night, they beat Washington. Funny how when Washington played a team that actually tried and didn't fall down, they gave up the 29 points. Let's say 23. The last 6 were kind of fishy, but let's just say, so they gave up mid-20s to Kansas City, which is what should have happened in the open game if they would have tried. So there you have Kansas City. You're getting at least 5. You might be able to get 6 or 7 by game time. Houston might be favored. I don't know. But it's been 1. I've seen some even. I've seen some 1.5. So let's just call it 1. Kansas City and 5 is the way to go. But let's take a look at it. Kansas City scores 30 a game, gives up 19. Very strong defense, very strong offense. They've got my man from Toledo. God, my mind's just toast tonight. Hunt. And I loved him at Toledo. And it's funny, I heard an announcer say, how did Toledo not win with Hunt and then some tight end? And I'm saying they beat Arkansas in Arkansas. Hello. The only team they couldn't handle was Western Michigan, who had, a great receiver, great quarterback, 2 great running backs, and a strong defense. So, that's Western's obviously better than Arkansas last year. So, that's who they lost to, but Hunt, obviously a good running back. And it blows my mind how if you watch the college game, you see that, and you know it. And that's why I'm so good at analyzing talent. I see them in college, so when they get in the pros, I know they either suck or they're really good. And that's why I bitch about some of these quarterbacks, like Jared Goff, who, to me, he's playing a little bit better. He's got a better coach, but he's still not there. In a big game, he's still going to throw interceptions. He's not a winner. And he's got some talent, but really not that he's not going to be it. The kid out of Western would be better. God, I can't think of his name now. But there's winners. Deshaun Watson will be better than Goff. He beat Alabama. It's just guys like that who know how to win a game. Josh Rosen will be better than Goff. I'm not sold on Arnold from USC because he's got like 9 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He lost to Washington State. After watching him, he kind of scrambles a little bit, but I don't think I'd take Josh Rosen over him all day long. So I don't know. Sorry to get off on that. So Kansas City, 30-19, a plus 11 in margin. Great defense, under 20, and a great offense, 30 points a game. Houston, right under them, scores 27 a game, gives up 22. So even though they have this great defense, they still gave up 22. But I think most of that came against Jacksonville, and a lot of it was on pick sixes and fumble returns. But the defense isn't really on the field. I hate when they do that. They're not giving up the points. They're not on the field. The offense is. That's the unique thing about football. You watch baseball, and the team's batting. They can't give up runs. But in football, you can have the ball and get picked and fumbled, and Next thing you know, the other team's got 7. So Houston's very good, 27.5, 22 on defense, and then 5.5 is the variance. And I like the variance. New England and Atlanta were the 2 leaders in variance last year, meaning the average offensive points minus the average defensive points. And, they were the top 2, so I think it is a good variable to read. The worst at that is Indianapolis, minus 16. They score 17 and give up 34. And, these statistics I find very, very enlightening. I always knew the stats, but I never paid much attention to this kind of stuff until a couple years ago. Last year I picked it up, and then I picked it up in baseball, and I'm handicapping baseball now, and I'm looking at the same thing, and then I realize it doesn't work in baseball because the pitchers are different every day, and you're going to hit a certain pitcher a certain way. So it didn't matter if Washington scored 6 runs a game and gave up 1. If they were going against SanD Koufax, they weren't going to hit them no matter how many guys. So I'm applying this, and it's really good, especially on my over-unders, because I can clearly see a team has, a team like Cincinnati. They score 16 a game, they give up only 16. So they don't score a lot, but they don't give up a lot. They're a good under team. And then you got here the Rams score 35, give up 26. They're a good over team. So you try to match that up. So when the Rams play Atlanta, you're going to bet over, or Green Bay, or New England. It's an over, over, over. So that's kind of what I'm using these stats for. Let me get into the psychological stats. You've got Kansas City is a road favorite, 4-0. Again, this is 16 and part of 17, whatever we got. They're 4-0 on the road as a favorite. They're 18-3 overall, 86%. Houston is a home dog, is 2-0. Houston's 18-4 overall now. They're 8-1 as a home favorite, so let's call them 10-1 at home. And you got Kansas City, if you count them as a road dog, is 9-1 on the road. So Kansas City is one of these teams that loves the road. Houston loves at home as long as Tom Savage isn't the quarterback. But if I bet against Houston at home, they're also 8-1 as a favorite and 1-1 as a home dog. So they're 9-2 against at home, and they're 10-1 if you play them at home. So they play close games at home, which is fine because we got Kansas City here, and we're going to be getting 5, 6, or 7 points, maybe more. Let's go back to 2015. Houston is a home dog, 3-2, nothing special. 74% overall, and if you bet against Houston as a home dog, 3-2, and they're 26-13, 67% if you bet against Houston overall. So Houston's one of these teams that's pretty good at home. They're a good road dog. That's about it. But let's look at Kansas City now. 9-0 is a road favorite. 10-2 is a road dog. They're 19-2 if you bet against them. If you bet on them, on the road, and 32-7, 82% if you bet with them on the overall. So on the road, they're 19-2. Unbelievable. If you bet against Kansas City as a road favorite, 1-8, 11%. So they go on the road and they dominate you, just like they did against San Diego. And this is why I locked them. At the time, they were 8-0 as a road favorite, and San Diego is not really a good home dog. Plus, heads up, it was Kansas City. That's how the lock comes. And it was a cheap line. Like last week, Cincinnati-Cleveland was only 3, and I told you it should be at least 7. See, just because it's 3, they think you won't bet a teaser plus 3. That's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. If you know the line and you know the teams like I do, and you know it should be a 7, and you tease it down to 1, here you're getting it at -3, and you pop it to +3. This spread is not right. Kansas City's at least probably a 4 to 6 point favorite in the game. Everybody's on Houston because of Deshaun Watson in the last couple of weeks. He's starting to score, running his little college read option Clemson stuff. Kansas City's a fast defense, and will have now spotted it, and they'll know how to defend it a little bit better than the others. Again, that first time you don't know how to defend them, but now they got 2 games or 3 games with Watson, and a team like Kansas City will know how to defend it. Plus, they're gonna, they can not hurt Houston. Houston has a great defense, but I just see this as definitely, this will probably be a close game, but I still like Kansas City getting the points. So you've got Kansas City 19-2 on the road. Unbelievable. And we'll go back to 14. So just in case you think it's a passing trend, Houston's 5-3 as a home dog. 42-13, 76%. They're 16-4 as a home favorite. So they're 21-7 at home. Again, quarterback problems, right? They're 5-3 if you bet against them as a home dog. So this isn't like the strongest home dog in the world, and they kill you when they're the home dog, sort of like Denver does, right? I mean, Denver's a strong home dog. New England's a strong home dog, and you don't want to bet against them. But in this case, you're 5-3 with or 5-3 against. Let's look at Kansas City. 10-1 as a road favorite since 2014. 16-2 as a road dog. 26-3 on the road as Kansas City. Unfreaking believable. 45-10 overall. 82% since 2014. That's with Alex Smith at quarterback, Andy Reid. They finally got a running game and Hunt. They got Hill, who nobody can defend, and their defense is just as good as Houston's. A lot of speed. Justin Houston pounds you. They lost Barry, doesn't seem to bother them. They went into San Diego with that offense and held them to 10 points. You've got to take notice on that. So is Houston's offense better than San Diego's? Not even close. They don't have any of the skill set that San Diego does. The quarterback's much better. The receivers are much better. The tight end, Gates. The only thing that Houston has is kind of a running quarterback, which is, we're thinking we're at Clemson here, which has worked against Tennessee and a couple other teams, but not going to work against KC. So now you have Kansas City 10-1 as a road favorite, 16-2 as a road dog, and they're only laying 1 point. I mean, if this was laying 6, I probably wouldn't be as adamant about Kansas City even. But the reason I like it is it's only a 1 or an even, and it might even be Houston could go favorite. Let's say Houston goes and lays 1, and now we got Kansas City 16-2 road dog, 45-10, 82% overall since 2014. And it gets even better. So I mean, now Houston is a good home favorite, 16-4. So this game's not a lock because because of Watson. If Watson wasn't playing, if he gets hurt, Savage is in, this game would be a lock. Just too much Kansas City. They're just too good on the road. We'll go back to 2013. I mean, I got to go back to 2013 because I'm loving it. Houston is a home dog, 8-4. Bet against Houston as a home dog, 9-3. So since 2013, they've been a home dog 12 times. You win 9 out of 12 if you bet against Houston as a home dog. So they got their good defense, but when they play good teams, they lose. They're only 8-4 if you bet on them. But now let's look at Kansas City. It's unbelievable. 16-1 as a road favorite, 94%. 19-2 as a road dog, 60-12, 83% overall if you take Kansas City. And they're kind of lousy as a home favorite. They're 23-8 as a home favorite and 16-1 as a road favorite. It's insane. Keep in mind they went into New England and beat Tom Brady. Okay? And they killed Tom Brady. And I know they got some injuries in the game, New England, but you don't go in and kill Tom Brady. So here you go, 16-1, 19-2, 35-3 since 2013 on the road, 60-12 as a home favorite. This is all Andy Reid and Alex Smith. This was the thing about Andy Reid at Philadelphia. He'd do great for you during the season. You'd make a ton on Philadelphia, just like you're doing here on Kansas City. But as soon as the playoffs come, he's not a winner. He doesn't know how to win in the playoffs. He's good at beating kind of weaker teams, right? He beats them except for that one or New England or Pittsburgh, he has a hard time with. They don't match up well. And then like more of the power teams, right? Like Pittsburgh's more power. Well, Houston doesn't have that power running back, and it's really just Deshaun Watson at this point. I'm sure he'll blitz the hell out of them, and he won't let him run. Just get at him, go after him. Don't sit back and let him read option you. So that's where his faults are. But during the year, he just pounds these, the teams he's supposed to beat. He just goes in, and I think he's got the right defense, and the quarterback's okay, and he just, and a lot of his offensive haven't been that great in 13, 14, like it is now. I think I've said my case. Take Kansas City as a road anything on the road. Since 2013, they're 35-3. It's crazy. 60-12 overall, 83%. If you're ever looking for a team to play, just wait till Kansas City's on the road and just pound them. You can see I locked them against San Diego, and this is why. And here's Houston, and it's Houston's a good home favorite, but they're not here. Even if they go home favorite, Kansas City's way too strong a team to be a road dog. If you look at the game, you even go, who do you think's going to win? You'd probably think Kansas City's going to win. They just have the better talent, and I think that's how you look at it. So you have KC plus 5 or 6. Let's see what happens Sunday. I tell everybody I'm interactive. I'm not. Most handicappers you go to the site and they'll say, take Washington -3, take Philadelphia, take Green Bay, take Detroit. And you don't hear from them, you don't talk to them, and they post it on Wednesday or Thursday. Well, what I do, the reason I'm different, the reason I'm successful, is I'm looking at the line in a teaser. So because I'm looking at the line, I'm going, if Houston goes to -2, this is a lock, Kansas City in 8. Right now, Kansas City's -1. It's not a lock. I'm not over a touchdown. But if at 11 o'clock Sunday morning Eastern time, Houston's now a 2-point favorite, and there's no news that anything happened to anybody on Kansas City, it's a lock. I'm going to post it at 11 a.m. So this is why I'm interactive. Same thing Sunday afternoon. If at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this game's Sunday night, if it goes, I'll lock it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because now it's a great bet. And but let's say Green Bay Dallas is the 4 o'clock game. Well, let's go Seattle LA. LA's a 1.5 point favorite. Well, if all of a sudden Seattle's a 3-point favorite, I'm going to take the Rams. If the Rams go to 2.5, I'm going to take Seattle and 8.5. So that line makes the bet, makes the lock. You get the right team as the dog, and you're going to be very, you're going to make a lot of money. A lot of times I get frustrated because the wrong team's the dog, right? These two teams are playing. You go, give me Team A as the dog, and then Team A is the favorite, and you can't really bet it, or if you do, you can't bet it as strong. Like here, I got San Diego as the dog. If San Diego's a 3-point favorite in the game, then I'd probably take the Giants, but I don't like it as much. I like San Diego as the road dog. Here, I'm hoping Houston goes to -2, and I'll lock Kansas City in 8. So it's all about the line. The line makes the lock. If it's too high or the wrong team's favored, you can't really pound it. So that's why you got to be patient, because the line makes pocket aces or king 3, right? If KC's laying 7 here, I'm not taking KC in 5. I'm probably not playing KC because Houston's fairly good and they could win the game. But at 1, KC gets 5 points. If they lose, they're not going to lose by 20. They're going to lose by a field goal. And I got more than a field goal here at 1. So that's the key to it. So that's why, even in college, if a spread jumps the way I want it to, and if it's 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon and it's the night game jumps, Washington State all of a sudden You know, they went from -11 to -7, and this has happened to me on the Navy game before, where Navy was 11, jumped down to 7.5. That's a freaking lock under 3. Where at 11, I got to lay 5, but at 7 laying 1, I know they're going to win the game. So that's why I'm interactive. That's why I will make a bet, and I'll post the game late because now the spreads move. This is like the stock market, right? The spread moves. I buy a gold stock and it's at 38. And when that thing goes to 37, I buy it. So, you know, if I'm watching it and I see 38, there's nowhere to go. My logic is, well, it's at 38, it can't go anywhere. But when it goes to 37, I can go up to 38. And I buy a lot of shares of it, and it goes up a point, and I go and I sell it, and I make, I don't know, $800-900 in 5 hours. I'm a happy camper. So, but it's the same thing with the football. It's all watch the trends, watch what happens, and if the spread jumps to the right way, I'm making. That's why I'm posting it. So, you know, I'm not trying to be like, you know, oh, he posted the game at 3. I got to keep watching my computer. Believe me, if I post a late game because of the spread moving, I'm not posting any game. I'm posting a game that really has got a lot of value because the line moved. So even from now until Sunday for these games, I'm watching. I mean, I noticed Cleveland went from 1.5 to even against the Jets. That to me is a 2-6 offsuit game. I can't be excited about betting the Jets, and I can't be excited about getting Cleveland. But as I stated, if you listened to me last week on Cincinnati Cleveland, you bet against Cleveland, you win 95% of the time. So, but you got to be careful. Here they're playing the Jets. Now, if this is the Giants +1, it'd be a lock. So that's kind of what you're looking at. So I got about 10 plays. I got a few over-unders. I have a lock that's a college pro lock, and I have 3 locks going. 5 of them are college. 1 is the pro. So it's a college pro lock with the college. So it's basically 1, 2, 3. I got 5 teams locked in 3 teasers. So I got one team twice because I really love it, and the other. So if you bought the pro and somebody bought this morning, I gave them I don't have I either can mark it college or pro. I can't call them both. I can't put the lock in twice because then people will think I'm doing it twice, which I'm not. So I either have to choose college or pro when I click on what is the type of game is it, because the college games I put in the pro. But in this situation, I love the college game, but I love the pro pick with it. So I thought it was the best 2 on the board, so that's why I put them together. But again, if you buy the pro package, and this is a great week to buy it, then go ahead and I'll see that you bought it, and I'll see what you bought, and then I will go ahead and give you the college pro lock. You won't get the other college locks because you're buying the pros. In the college pack, you'll get the college locks. So if you bought college, you get all the locks. If you bought the locks, you get all the locks. If you buy the pro, I'll give you the 1 college pro lock. I'm going to reduce the yearly subscription as we're now week 5 of the NFL. My initial price is based on every week. It's a good discount anyway because there's 20 weeks in the pros, and I'm giving it to you at like $50 a week. I normally charge $100 if you bought every week. So I'm going to lower it a little bit just to be fair. Somebody, because if you buy like 4 weeks in a row, it's $400, or if you buy 135, you're paying $500-600 for another couple hundred. You get the whole year, and you don't have to buy every week. So it really benefits you. Keep in mind each week's individual. So I get a buyer and I do great, and he comes back, and then I have an off week, and he doesn't know what he's doing. Well, you got to keep in mind pocket pairs versus a week. If you get a week where it's all Cleveland and the Jets, it's very hard to handicap that. But last week was great. This week's strong. College is strong. So, you got to stick with it and understand that I'm looking for pocket pairs, really strong Kansas City type, 16-1 road favorite, 94% trends. That's what I'm trying to pick. Some week they're not there and there's nothing I can do, and I try to weed back on the units saying, hey, don't, these aren't that strong. When I was a kid, I paid, I got this guy's newsletter, and it would come on like Wednesday, and he'd go and he'd mark the game, North Carolina 75%, USC 72%, and it came Thursday, so, who knows, but, he's not even looking at the line, or maybe a little bit. All I did was look at the percentage, and he just, the 60% games he was wrong on, the 70% games he'd be okay on. And then one game he gave was Florida State over Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, the year after Billy Sims. So like 81, I think. And he gives Florida State, but he gives it as a 92. And I go, wow, because he's normally, 60s and 70%, occasionally upper 70 or a lower 80. And here he is, 92% on Florida State. Well, I bet a ton on that game because I'm sitting there going, okay, this one he loves, and he's not putting a lot of 92s out there. So when he really does, it's a lock, basically. And he, maybe only put one other one out in the 90s. And so that's what I'm saying. So when I don't lock every game, and some weeks I can't find a lock, I don't just lock the lock. But when I do lock, and you see my units go up, all of a sudden I put out a 15-unit lock, that's the one you're looking at to really jump on. But I won't do it just to do it. I only do it because I love the game. So that's what you got to keep in mind. So when I put out 5 and 7 units, they're pretty average plays. Bet your units accordingly. So 5 units might be $50, 7 might be $60. But when you see the 11 units and the 15 units, that's when you want to get and have a good bet. So if I lose with a bunch of 5-unit plays or 7-unit plays, you got to look next week. Do I got the 11-unit play? And I'll usually tell you here if I got strong locks or how the week is. But like I said, so you got to be, you can't just play me for a week and there's nothing to bet, or it's a weak and then go, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. So don't look at it. You got to look at it over the whole year, and you got to look at each week going, yeah, there's strong games out there. So that's the way to look at it. Just like poker, you get crap hands, you can't, it's just what happens. But then the next day you go to the table and you're getting pocket aces and pocket kings, and hopefully they're not getting cracked. They do get cracked once in a while, but what are you going to do? You got pocket aces. So keep that in mind. This is a very patient investment here. This is very patient with this football. You're not going to win every week, but in the long run, we're going to pick good 75, 80%, and you're going to make some money and increase your units as we're going, and that's really the key to how I win betting on football. So good luck, everybody. Again, www.teaserking.com. If you want the full year, just send me an email. It'll be probably about 50% of what the full year price is. I'll have it changed shortly, but so for right now, keep that in mind. And if you want the weekly, I would definitely recommend the whole week. I would buy pros and college. This should be a huge week, and then you get all the locks that way. And that's just $135. But keep in mind, you're getting a lot of games. When you buy from these other handicappers for $39, you're getting 2 games. And you can't contact them to say, who do you like in this game? And you're not getting the trends of, and I know I'm the only one that gives teaser trends. So KC probably without a teaser is certainly not 16-1. In a teaser, 16-1. It makes the bet much stronger and the probability of winning much greater, and you're going to make money that way. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. www.teaserking.com. Have a great week. Good luck. Take care.